Drop! Boom!
79T 2458 Learning Corp Little Red Riding Hood, take one.
"40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone." Does that make sense?
Where they say there are Indian people pooping on our beach.
It's a spool of wire. 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We're here. Hey. All right. Look. I know YouTube's thing. I'm supposed to immediately start with the payoff of what you came here for. I mean, you guys that are regulars know what you came here for, but everybody else saw the picture. So I was like, if you don't know, Matt Walsh and his bitches are going crazy. Dude, I would feel bad, actually. Like, picture being a CIA handler, and life is good. You have all the liberal thought leaders on the social media, just tell them Israel stuff. All right, sounds good. You got all the conservative ones doing the same thing. You should be a controlled opposition. Say you hate Palestine, but then don't back Israel. All right, I probably got that. And then your boss is like, dude, we're going to promote you. You're going to be a director soon. You're like, yeah. And then you go back and your coworker's like, hey, dude, your bitches are flying off the handle. And you're like, God damn it. And you go and you look and what's happening. They're getting finger blasted at TP USA. If you think I'm doing the drama of this thing a little bit, because we need to have a little laugh. How could you not laugh at this nonsense? Thank you very much, sir, for enjoying the lighting. So I've decided to dress in my serious clothes today, because we're going to talk about serious topics. We're going to make fun of women. This is what I call my writing shirt. I have two writing shirts, and they're usually like blue. And they just remind me of the old 70s films where the journalist that has to fight the system is always dressed in one of these fucking things. It's like a blue collar thing, I think. This is the shirt you wear if you run a mechanic's shop. And then I'm like, how funny would that be is if the most serious I've dressed for the podcast in months is the one where I'm taking the piss the most. And yeah, here we are. But pause on that. You're like, what the hell is this? Bros. If you guys don't know, I was a 90s kid, which means I was a wrestling fan. And the old WrestleMania is just better. I don't care. I watched an episode of SmackDown recently, and it was so strange. Like, it was ambient. It was Ritalin. The background promos, it used to be dudes just yelling at each other, pumping up stuff. Now it's just like a pause screen when you're playing WrestleMania on the Xbox, and now you're just like, they're just standing there looking cool, spinning around with some weird visual effects, and the music's all just sad. And then, so what I do often is I go through the old WrestleManias or SummerSlams or stuff, and some of them I've had to download, and the pirate and stuff. But then I'm like, oh, dude, a lot of the old companies are putting their 80s and 90s content up for free now. Like Hasbro, 24/7 G.I. Joe, Transformers, Saturday morning cartoons. Like, that shit's everywhere. And WrestleMania 6. Bam. There you go. Free on YouTube. You're like, oh, my brother in Christ. How awesome. Vince, look, man, we've had our issues. I'm like the Bret Hart of fandom when it comes to Vince. But at the same time, this is awesome. And look, you guys watch it. Couple minutes. You're going to instantly notice the difference. If you watch wrestling now, if you watch WWE now, go watch the WWF. First thing you'll notice, everybody's happy. Everybody's energetic. Everybody's hyped to be there. Like, you heard that promo, and it's kind of cheesy, right? It's like the same, by the way, that's the same introduction that Fist of the North Star had in like 1986. I was just like, I'm here for it. Look at all those constellations. There's the Hulkster constellation. But you watch it, it's like the model Rick Martel and Coco Beware, and it all ends off. And this is the one reason that's my favorite is because it's the pinnacle one It's the first time they had hero versus hero in a major wrestling event. And you may be thinking to yourself, no, that's not true. When Hogan fought Andre in WrestleMania 3, I think it was 3, that was hero versus hero. It's like, no, not so much. Andre was always the hero, but they switched him to heel for that match. This is the first time they thought, why don't we just have two guys that are both heroes fight? Draw the audience in. And it was awesome. And at the end, they really did it good. Like when Hogan got beat, he actually walked up and handed the Warrior the belt, and they hugged afterwards, and then he walked off the stage. He got to keep his dignity to him, and then the Warrior started fucking shaking the ropes and that. It's just an awesome event. And if you guys haven't watched it, if you're a Zoomer and you don't know about wrestling, I can't explain it other than just like everything about it is so much more fun, and it's just enjoyable. And look, we're in a piece of shit timeline right now. I get it. I get it. I'm the most jaded and cynical guy ever, but sometimes it's just nice to remember that there used to be joy in the world. I feel like Kaneda on Akira. I remember at the end where like Tetsuo was that little speck of dust and he puts it in his hand and it just glows and goes out. I feel like that. Anyways, now that we got the joy of the world out of the way, I'm going to get some quick super chats and then we're going to get to the topic. First one is from Siege D, $4.99. 1 cent short of a heartfelt. Thank you very much, sir. We made it the first 10 minutes. Enjoying the dog walker on the toilet. Definitely want Couch to autograph it eventually when I meet him in Vegas. Dude, I'm glad. I'm glad you're enjoying it, because that's been the only goal. Like, yeah, there's the idea of like Red Pill themes would be just great in a fictional work, right? But at the same time, it's like, if I just want to preach to people, I could just do that on this fucking podcast. At this point, I want people to like enjoy it as a work of their own. It's like a 6 to 8 hour read, depending on how fast you read. And I'm like, if I can give somebody 6 to 8 hours of joy for 10 to 20 bucks, that's probably an ROI that, like, I mean, it's a good trade. It's a good trade. I'm glad you enjoy it. And it's just funny. So I don't know if it's a smart idea, releasing like 3 books in a year, but I'm like, we'll have to see. It's always been an annual release for the longest time. But we're going to see. Softbone's been out a couple weeks now. And I'll see if they're competing against things or helping each other out. If it's like people want to read more or want to read less, who knows? Second super... Oh, you son of a bitch. Second super chat. Hold the phone. I got to...
So the meme, they're very good. This is really, they've taken it.
True Alpha
named Ryan Stone.
It says, ask Murphy about the article he wrote, cuckolding his wife. Clear up the cuck article. Clear up the cuck article.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
If I wasn't prepared to literally impoverish his entire bloodline,
I am now concerned for my career.
And I still recommend clear up the cuck article.
You know what? Fuck you for bringing this up. Yeah. Fuck you. Heartfelt.
I'm not going to have those guys back on my channel again. Absolutely not.
Just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
It is just...
That's great. That's you should.
Fuck you.
Sorry, apologies.
Just keep going, dude. One foot in front of the other. Before you know it, this will all be in the rearview mirror. Fuck you.
There you go, Ross, you son of a bitch. Good morning, brother. Snap into a Slim Jim. Dude, you snap into a Slim Jim. It sucks, man. I realize, like, they used to, one of the early 90s websites, back when everybody had their own website and there was only 10,000 people, was one about, like, which wrestlers are still alive. And it was just, the list is huge. Wrestlers are, like, up there with roofers or police or gangsters or whatever. It's just, it is not a longevity profession. Dino Bravo got a hit on him from the Mafia. The model Martel, I think was coke. I think Coco Beware died from coke too, or no, his was a car accident. And then there's like Andre the Giant, obviously from the giantism, that's what got him in the end. I think it was a heart attack. Hogan just passed on. Savage had like a aneurysm or something like that, like a vessel explode in his thing. What's the other ones? Dude, there's so many. I'm trying to remember. Piper, he ended up dying. What did he die of? It was like dementia or something. It was pretty tragic, though. Anyways, the point is, like, everybody, for some reason, Ric Flair is the only one still kicking. And I was like, how is this guy This guy lived like a moron for the whole time. But we're going to get to the real topic. The real topic is hoes.
Not Ryan Stone. I think he's the most important guy in the world. Ryan Stone. Give a fuck about Ryan Stone. Me and him have gone back and forth. Blah, blah, blah. Ryan Stone does not pass the 6-foot test. He's not even a man. So I don't give a fuck with Ryan Stone.
Before we start too, there's a quick one here, a serious one. Somebody was asking up above. Oh, gotta get back to it. Brett. Think about this. They shouldn't be called shitty comfort tests because this can be confused with a shit test. They should instead be called bratty comfort tests. Look, man, I didn't name the shit. These are the names that are just there. They may not be ideal, but those are the ones that have stuck. So I'm not about to start going, well, I'm just going to rename this thing to my thing. I've seen that. There is a shit ton of guys that do that. They're like, I'm going to market it. I'm going to make red pill, but make it my thing. I'm not about to Zach Small this shit. It's the name it gets. I don't even think shit tests are good. I actually agreed. They tried to change it a while back to fitness test, which is much more accurate, but didn't stick. Nobody uses it. If I start talking about it, people are going to get confused. You work with what you got. Andrew Tate's Romanian passport. Dude, I miss you and Pat Stedman's Polish passport. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same guy or not, but between the two of you, I think you can make a great buddy cop movie. I've got soft bone. I'm enjoying all the details you put in there and not wasting my damn time. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Like I said, there's a few things I did that aren't like, I don't think it's good writing, but Nick and I were talking during our strategy session. I just thought it was funny. Like, let's slip a couple inside jokes like your stupid ads. I'm like, that's not a bad idea. So, like, there's probably a dozen. It's kind of like the old hidden Tyler Durdens in the beginning of Fight Club. So I slipped about a dozen little inside jokes that fans of the channel will get. And they're subtle, but they should be funny. But yeah, honestly, it's I'm the first group of people that have bought a copy have finished it now. And I'm starting to get feedback. And like I said, I'm just tickled. I'm tickled that I'm half-ass competent at it. And so that you guys can enjoy it. This one's a shorter book than Dog Walker 2. I'm trying to keep it to, I wanted it at 60,000 words flat. I'm like, that's a nice, easy pace. It's like on the short side of novels. I think anything under 50,000 is a novella. So I'm like, 60's good. And everybody's talking about like the pacing is good. It doesn't bore you. Your mind doesn't drift. The fact that you can read it as like a surface level, let's just have fun going on an adventure, that's fine. But if you're like one of those literary wonks that like seeing character change, you actually see that shit there too. And I don't know, just the idea of a feminist techno dystopia just warms my heart. This is so unrealistic. It's like, is it? You pull up a news article, there it is. You're like, God damn. But yeah, it's good. My like proper, like right now I only have the 8x9 or 6x9 or whatever they call them, the author proofs. So they got this banned for not for resale, and the covers changed slightly because I fixed that up. But the final like up versions are coming in, which is going to be great because I owe so much of the T-Rex squad their copies. I have like a whole bunch of hard copies and paperbacks here that I owe like Mish and Marty and Kirsten and all the T-Rex dudes. I guess she's a girl, but whatever. So yeah, just so you know, I haven't forgotten. I'm just lazy. But by the time I got around to doing it, I'm like, you know what? This one's already done. We'll just send them all as a package. So I'm already slowing down the workload, so I have the time. I'm just going to sit down and set up all like 20 labels or so and get them out to you guys. And it's mostly just a thank you. Like, you've been here since the start. You shit up my chat. You mod my thing. I'm like, the least I could do is throw a book at you. You know what I mean? And it's not much, but what else can I do other than shout you out on this thing or open to your channels? I'm always big on gratitude. I'm finding a lot of content creators have no gratitude at all. In fact, they're pretty shitty. But we'll get into that in a sec. All right, Mando Lando, $4.99 super chat. I bought Dog Walker months ago. Got around to it in the middle of it. Story aside, the overall experience of reading it is great. Keep it up. Oh, dude, yeah. Fuck, you guys really don't want me to talk about bitches, do you? If you guys don't know this, when I was in university in the 90s and early 2000s, I was a graphic designer and desktop publisher. That was my vocation. I did some work in Edmonton. I'm not saying it to be like an amazing career or anything. I'm not like the iPhone designers, but it was just funny that that skill, however many years later, has come back to help. So Dog Walker is literally designed, because a lot of people just put text on a page, they don't think about it, make it Times New Roman, send it out. I'm like, no, we can do better than that. And it's like little things. The typeface you choose. It turns out some are easier to read than others over long periods of time. Some are better on a screen, some are better on a print. So I've gone with it was designed with the most readable font in history. Caslon. It was developed in the 1500s or 1600s. It's right after Gutenberg Bible kind of stuff. There was Caslon and Garamond. Garamond was the Italian one, and it has a flourish to it. Caslon was the British one. And British ones are very simple, minimal. Awesome. And then your white space, your margins, the headers, the numbering scheme, the way the chapters are laid out, all these little details. And you wouldn't notice a thing about them, and that's fine. You don't have to. But the point is, it all leads to your eyes don't get tired. You don't rubber band, which if you've ever seen, that's where you read a line and then you go to read the next line, you read the same line again. That's because you have them spaced too close together, and so their eyes don't automatically move. But if you make it too far apart, your eyes have to stress too much to read, and you have to skip too many lines. It tires you out. So it's it's scientifically designed for the maximum ease of reading. And it's little things like that allows you to, almost just turn off your brain and immerse yourself in the story, which is great, because I have a hard time as hell finding books that do that for me. That's why I've talked so much mad glazing for Theft of Fire and Delicious Tacos now for some good news, because they're the last 2 books I've read out of the last 50 that have done it to me. And I've got my list of 12 now that I have to get through. A lot of people that that maybe even in the chat right now, so I can't speak for them yet, but I'm hoping. Anyways, last super chat is Brett again, $5.99 super chat. They shouldn't be called shitty comfort tests because this somewhat confuses it with a shit test. Instead, they should be called bratty comfort tests. Giver, man, you can make it work, I'm sure. But do you really want new Coke? Nobody wants new Coke. They like Coke, and it's new Coke tasted better. New Coke looked better. New Coke had better marketing. In all metrics, New Coke was better than Classic Coke. But what happened when they brought out New Coke? Everybody told you to eat a dick. So it's you're not wrong. I don't disagree with you, but there's only so much you can do. Holy Jesus. All right, I'm trying to get through the super chats. You guys keep sending them. James S., $10 super chat. Morning, couch. Morning, James. One of the sad Cappy clips, please. All right, let's do it. Where is it? Oh yeah, there she is.
You can choose your misery with some pretty girl that whatever that you just. And I honestly find it. If your man is for you to say smart, probably because you're not satisfying. I would encourage, right? So exactly. Do not discredit intelligence of others. Please do not use that word.
But marrying or committing to? No, absolutely not. My son will marry an accountant. Not one of my sons would I allow to even date one of you girls. Because you don't shut up. It has been fun. It has been an honor. We're going hiking.
Yes.
You're 45 and you can't shut up? You're the most mature one, but I saw your nipples and now we gotta worry about that. You're a criminal justice major, right? You're gonna bail out all these girls' sons right this time. You actually have a job. Long ago, she was a stripper. Okay. She put herself through college, law school doing that, became a lawyer now.
If I'm gonna get in trouble on the table, I wanna fucking hear why.
By that time, it's already tainted like this.
That is the most on-brand shit I've ever heard in my life.
Why would my son
I figured it was $10 super chat, so I was going to give you both of them. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Null, now with the €10 super chat, listen to the dog walker. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I'm supposed to pitch. It's out on audio now. If you guys don't want to read it, I'll read it to you. It's fine. Still just as good, I think. Well, I prefer the reading, but whatever. Listen to the dog walker, like it, and now I'm buying 300 thread count Egyptian cotton to see what all the fuss is about. Well, since you mention it, here's the fuss. You guys might be thinking there's 600 thread count sheets out there. No, there's not. When you see that 600 thread count or 1200 thread count shit, what they're doing is they're fudging the numbers. There's like a chemical process. They mix cotton in with bamboo, which is technically rayon, which if you've never heard of the fabric, it's like plant polyester. Does that make sense? Anyways. So the reason that Egyptian cotton is always seen as like the cotton is because the Egyptian ones, the cotton from the cotton plant grows, I think it's 3 inches long, as opposed to normal cotton, which is like 1.5 to 2. And with the longer strands, when they weave them together, if you ever watch like that prehistoric guy that makes like smelters in the woods, you'll see him when he makes ropes. That's kind of the same process you make thread with. So with a longer thread, you can make thinner strands. And the thing with thinner strands is it makes a finer thing. If you don't believe me, just like rub yourself with a burlap sack and then rub yourself with a piece of cloth. You'll see what thread count does. So they are able to get to like 300 thread count, where mostly your cotton poly stuff is like 150. It makes a difference, but it's the same as like 1080p versus 2K versus 4K. There's a certain point where it's too much and you don't really notice the benefit. Plus, once it gets extremely thin, it then becomes more fragile. So 300 is that nice balance between a very sturdy sheet and like smoothness. And like weave matters a little bit too, but we're not going to get into I don't even want to talk about like sateen finishes and shit. We're not going to go there because this will, like, I'm already watching the numbers drop. He's talking about sheets. Get the fuck out of here. I want to see that fucking idiot. Yeah. So that's what all the fuss is about. That's what all the fuss is about. It's the kind of thing you can get like, dude, this is your last set of sheets for your life kind of thing. They're really good. And if you've lived in like a camp or in a work site or in the military, you've had those shitty, or you've been to prison, you've had the shitty sheets. It's just one of those things from the military. And that's one of the things I injected in there as part of the autofiction, is that we always bought the nicest coffee after sailing for a while. We always bought the nicest sheets, and we always ate the nicest food because we're like, life's too short to be eating that frozen ass bacon. Anyways, enough of that. Unless we got another super chat. No, we're good. Hey, Bish, Claudio. Hey, did you guys know that Nuclear Claudio isn't black? He's Dominican? I didn't know. But the internet has been teaching me lessons the last 2 days. Oh, man. It's the one, and it's kind of to do with this, so I'll get into that a bit. And I'm not going to spoil everything because there's like a whole lore to it. And if you're not into the drama, it'll be a very good summary. But it's going to tie into actually some actionable stuff. I'm not just goofing around for the sake of it. There's a point to it. But so somebody had the great idea. It's like, hey, let's be whores, and then let's invite Milo to our little thing. And if you want to keep a secret, just tell Milo. He'll shut his mouth. The one chick, I'm trying to remember everybody's name. So there's this one girl, Sarah. She's like the newest one. She shows up on those little shows. I think it's Jubilee, the ones where they all sit in a circle and then they debate a liberal about a stupid topic with a timer like it's a fucking chess game. And she's like posts a thing with her hand with a ring, like, I'm getting engaged. And of course, all the other right-wing grifter chicks who just want to get knocked up by Elon so they can get paid are like, fuck you, you whore, you suck black dicks. Which, fair. And then she's like, fuck you too. All of a sudden, tea spilled everywhere. For the non-Zoomers, that means gossip. They call it tea. Spilling tea. There's your little Zoomer thing. It's one of the few Zoomer slangs that I'm like, that's really good. It's really good. No cap. Alpha AK $5 super chat. You had this coming for that long ass sheet rant. I get what you're saying. Fine, I'll give you another Murphy. You guys have to watch a second Murphy now. This is my penance. Where the fuck is the promo? Oh, there it is.
So the meme, they're very good. This is really, they've taken it.
True Alpha.
Named Ryan Stone.
It says, ask Murphy about the article he wrote, cuckolding his wife. Clear up the cuck article. Clear up the cuck article.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
If I wasn't prepared to literally impoverish his entire bloodline.
I am now concerned for my career.
And I still
Just to
recommend
clear up the cuck article.
You know what? Fuck you for bringing this up. Yeah. Fuck you. Heartfelt.
I'm not gonna have those guys back on my channel again. Absolutely not.
Just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
It is just.
That's great. That's you should.
Fuck you.
Sorry, apologies.
Just keep going, dude. One foot in front of the other. Before you know it, this will all be in the rearview mirror. Fuck you.
So anyways, there's a bunch of tweets. You can go look them up if you want to. If you follow an e-girl, grifter, conservative chick, then you'll know where to find them. I'm not about to. The part that I found funny, the part that I found hilarious, the part I loved, Milo starts spilling all the tea. The engagement ring apocalypse makeup chat is about going as well as you expect. So I guess they all put themselves into a chat to apologize and say, look, I don't actually hate you girls. Sorry about ruining your brand. And then Ian Carroll, the CIA plant guy, which I'm impressed. I forgot that he was here. I guess Peter Thiel was like, yeah, fine. Who invited Matt Walsh to the fucking apology thread for all the chicks? Now I'm involved. I'm like, okay, Matt, let's do this. Showing off the fuck trophies for clout? Meat fucking crab bucket for brands? Anyways, Milo infers that he's gay. Whatever. So yeah, like you got stupid shit like this. Oh, you're just a whore, blah, blah, blah. What does that have to do with fucking? You're the same thing, Emily. It was never a whore. Single moms are whores, bitch. You have STDs. And it's just like random shit like this. It's like reality TV. And the part that I find hilarious on this is that these were all sunflower, cornfield, summer dress, sun hat, traditional conservative, men need to step up, women are the sweetest, I love bacon cakes. All these fucking broads, and every single one of them is a fucking cunt. Sorry, YouTube. I know I'm getting delisted for that one, but it's worth. And he sent it again. Look at this shit. Now they're gonna have a show where they talk it out. It's just amazing how girls can like absolutely, like all of them, they're all fucked. The only reason people follow any of them anymore is because there's that 1 in a million chance you can fuck one of them at Turning Point USA, which that was the funniest thing I ever heard too in the engagement one. I remember this girl getting finger blasted in the lobby of the hotel at TP USA, and I was just laughing. I'm like, there she is. And here's the point. Like, all these guys seem to love, like, you see it with Muslims, you see it with, like, Europeans, you see it with the conservatives. Everybody's always got our women aren't whorish like you women are. And it's always like liberal progressive women is the whore woman. Our women are better than this. It's like, no, man. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're all like this. All of them. How do I know? I was in these groups. I've seen them sanitize their Facebooks when they raised a family. I went from a girl showing cleavage shots of her like burying her face into some other girl's chest drinking shots and fucking a tit hanging out at Coachella to like all of a sudden now it's just Facebook quotes about acceptance and pictures of the kids. It's like, fuck off. And I feel bad because there's a bunch of Zoomers out there who are just turning 30 now. And there's this weird thing where like the delayed adolescence has extended to the point that like these 30-year-olds are going through shit that millennials went through at like college in their early 20s. And it was like the Gen Xers are laughing. It's like, dude, I saw that at 17. The boomers were probably like, yeah, when I was 10 smoking. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, so yeah. And so it's like, I think it's good. It's like Will Smith said, racism's not getting worse, it's getting recorded. And it's the same thing here, the thoughterry. It's so funny because girls were really good at holding like containment. You know, gatekeep your own, keep the whoring thing down, shame guys into not thinking about it. But the thrust of fame is too big. It's too hard. Can't do it. And so now we're at where we're at, where they're spilling all the tea and they're letting you know. And a lot of guys are getting so sad. And they're like, oh, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Oh, and I can't even. It's like, no, bro. This was happening regardless. This is happening regardless. Just let it go. Let it go. Do your thing. Because it's like, it was a great red pill article. Let me see if I, actually, you know what? I should pull it up since we're doing screenshots of tweets anyway. Assume she's a slut. I think Nuke even has one on his Substack that's an updated version of this. So the National Institute of Health has SEO over Archwinger. What the hell? That's wild. All right, so there was some backups. This was you guys know Archwinger. He's on the channel. He's been on the other channels. This was like 8 years ago, but it's the same thing. Hey, where the hell did my hold up a sec. Oh, there it is. Lost my window there for a second. The original thing. Forget her sexual history. She's married, 2 kids, blah, blah, blah. You go read it if you want to. It's there for you. It's fine. Oh, yeah, we'll get to this one. It's just so funny, though. It's like, yeah, Nick says it. Everybody's grandmother undressed for sailors. Half the manosphere brands that talk about, they're always the hype ones about marriage, too. It's like, oh, my marriage and kids are the greatest thing ever. And then every single one of them, and I remember the old stories, and I'm not spilling tea here, but the point is to illustrate a point, is they're like, yeah, I found out my wife was cheating on me. And now I'm in this position. We got 3 kids in the new house, and she just lost her job, and now what do I do? And they're kind of trapped. Because you get 2 options. Abandon your family, or live the lie. And I don't fault guys for wanting to live the lie. What are you going to do? You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose all your social circles. Going to get kicked out of your church because, oh, you didn't forgive her? What are you, a monster? That's the pernicious thing about the blue pill lies, by the way. You know, the Disney fantasy, all that shit they talk about. It's not that guys are longhoused and deluding themselves. It's that for a lot of guys, the trade-off is skewed towards their emasculation, which sucks. And don't feel sorry for them. That's the other thing. Like my Substack, just week before last, I had a report on the guy who's wasting 5 years of his life doing fucking nothing, but talking about how great and self-aware he is at red pill. It's just fucking embarrassing. Oops. It's embarrassing. Yeah, I've read all the books. I have great frame. I have great this. It's always, I swear to God, I've been reading field reports for like 10 years now, thousands of them. And it's one thing I've always noticed is that when guys start telling you how red-pilled they are, as soon as they provide an example of what they actually are, it's the complete opposite. It's like without fail. As soon as somebody says they're red pill aware, as soon as somebody says I have good frame, I handle shit tests, I handle comfort tests, I do this, and it's never I have this or I've done this. It's always I am this. As soon as you start doing those identity things, it's like, yeah, I have great frame, I don't buckle. And then the next thing is him yelling at his wife because she wouldn't wash the dishes. And it's like, my brother in Christ, I'm too old for this. I'm tired. I'm old. I don't read new field reports anymore. And you'd think it's because just do the old Ryan shtick. Yeah. Yeah, the latest iPhone. And you know the funny thing about that one too, Jack, with the latest iPhone one? That actually comes, like it didn't come out of the blue. There was an old OkCupid report on this where they were showing just stats of like who's getting matches on OkCupid. Essentially, it's like they're saying who's getting laid, but they can't say laid. And they had a thing for people who had Windows. This is how old it was. Windows phones, iPhones, and Androids. And most of the people that were getting matches had iPhones. But that didn't say anything other than iPhone had market share. And it's just so funny to see that percolate to like, she's not going to fuck you without an iPhone. And does that not encapsulate assholes talking about statistics perfectly? 80% of people own iPhones. 80% of the people getting laid have iPhones. Dude, you can't get laid without an iPhone. My brother, iPhone has nothing to fucking do with it. This is like the most correlated stat ever. It's like that old site where they just find random correlations. Like people who eat bananas get cancer less. It has nothing to do with nothing. My girl thinks red pill is a political movement. I said, yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, it's people constantly trying to make it one, but that's because it's much easier to like ramble impotently about politics than to ramble impotently about your sex life. Do people actually believe this? A lot do, man. A lot do. Like I've been in a bubble. I'm caught with you guys. And I'm not shitting on you guys. Most of you guys are pretty switched on. You know what the fuck you're doing. You've gotten a sex life. You have a realistic appraisal of the world based on your observations. You've learned the things that you need to learn here. Some of it's already known. Some of it was new. Some of it you didn't need. And that's fine. Fine with all that. And then you get exposed to the world writ large. And oh my fucking God. Oh my God. You see these people, they're like White Claw on the brain. And I forget how shitty the average person is. I forget. I'm not even bragging like I'm awesome. It's like, no, man, I'm average. The bar is that low. What the fuck are you doing? It's just ridiculous. Yeah, the politics things. A lot of guys did that. I remember I shouldn't even talk about him because he's just annoying. And I'd hate to have this get back to him and have him come back. This guy, he called himself Gay Lou Boy. His name was Daniel something. I'd have to go look it up. I can't remember. And I'm not trying to dox the guy because I don't really care. He was like a half Russian, grandfather was like one of those Russian Hasidic guys. And it's like, what does that have to do with anything? Didn't until he tried bringing politics and the Jewish painter into everything. And I'm like, bro, this ain't it. He's personally responsible, by the way, for absolutely destroying the Red Pill subreddit and the upstart trp.red that was about to take it over. We could have had something. They had like a large user base. They had a lot of enthusiastic posters, and not just like the average guys. There was like Uncle Vaz, Vengefully Yours, Dr. Warlock, and you guys, like, these are just names on a thing, but one was like a lawyer out of New York, 50-year-old guy, and he was just bagging chicks left, right, and center. He basically worked from home. He was making a fortune. He was living the dream. And there was a lot of guys like that. There were some guys that like made out well in the tech boom, and they were kind of like semi-retired, talking about their life and what they did and how they get things done, and military guys and cops. I think it was Vengefully Yours was the ex-military guy, and he was like, yeah, dude, I look like a bucket of used dinosaur parts, and he was slaying it. And all of these guys basically got scared off because they were more popular than this one guy who decided to make things political. It's a tragic story. I might tell it one day. The problem is it's about as interesting as fucking like Kate Tits here talking about her bullshit. Yeah, it was nice to begin with. Hey, we got Orc City in the chat. What's up, John? There might be no other male-female dating dynamic that befuddles me more than women using iPhones and Androids as a reason to choose or reject. Yeah, you know what those are? Those are just disqualifiers. They don't give a shit. It's like 6 feet tall, 6-pack abs, 6-figure salary. They don't give a shit. It's a way of weeding out the people that fall for that shit. That's why they call it a shit test. Like, what is this shit? And the only way to lose these ones is to let it get under your skin. That's it. It's no different than a girl's like, hey, just so you know, we're not sleeping together tonight when you're on a date. It's no different than any of that shit. And it's just like, what? Okay, fine, whatever. Oh, I don't date guys who don't have iPhones. Yeah, that's cool. I don't care. Just blow right through it. Some snide thing. It doesn't really matter what you say or what you do. If she's interested in you, she's interested in you. There was actually an old Chateau Artiste article. I'm not going to pull it up because you guys know it. Where it was, what's the title of it? It's either, I'm usually pretty good at this. The title of it is either something to the effect of her opinion doesn't matter at all, or the 427-point bullet list, or something about a house of cards. But the gist of the article was Royce, back in like 2009, was girls have all these demands that they want this and they want this and they want this. And he goes, dude, I'm telling you from experience. He'd had some stories in there. It's like, they don't give a shit. As soon as they decide they like you, all that shit falls like a house of cards. They'll break every single rule. That's where the saying came, women will break rules for an alpha and they'll make rules for a beta, which it's a bit of a clunky phrase, but it gets the point across. If she's into you, shit doesn't matter. She'll just hand wave it away. You will grow 6 inches tall. It's like the Grinch that stole Christmas, except for it's on a date. And in that day, the Grinch's dick grew 3 times its normal size. He became 6 feet tall, and his phone magically grew an apple. And then the kids got to experience the joy of Christmas. Sam I am. All right, that's green eggs, but you get the point. I'm on a quest to read every book and blog post by the 3R. Should I add Ryan's work? Oh, dude. I'm going to tell you to read my work because it's my work, and I think it's worth it. But you don't really need it. Plus the fact that you've actually taken off a lot more than you chew. You have no idea what you've just suggested. First off, just to find all the Return of King stuff is going to be difficult. Roosh destroyed that shit. You're going to have to go into the Internet Archive, and I think the Red Pilled Archive might have the old ROK stuff. There's probably 10 years of like BuzzFeed-ish like articles there. Actually, you know what? Here, let me check quickly. It'll take 1 second. Did they make an archive of the Return of Kings? They did. So yeah, the Red Archive is what they call it. Oh, look at that. The first thing on there. Return of Kings going on a hiatus. 2018. Poor bastard. So that's 6 years of shit right there. I don't even know how much there is. Fuck, I couldn't even tell you. 116 pages, 20 things a thing. That's a lot. And then if you go to Royce, Chateau Artiste, which again, I think you have to go to the archive. Oh no, he has it up again, but some of the stuff's a little wonky on it. He was doing stuff as far back as 2006 or something like that. He has like 12 years of shit. And there's this one here. Rollo's got 6 or 7 years on his. His is at least organized and still available. But yeah, dude, you have no idea the task that you've suggested for yourself. Yeah, Royce is Chateau Artiste. He the way it worked is he used to have a blog called Royce in DC. Turns out that he, Jack Murphy, Roosh, and a couple other guys, I can't remember who off at the top of my head, they were all in the pickup scene in Washington, D.C. back in the 2000s. And that's where they all got their start. And that's when, and so as like Royce's that, and that's where you get like Bronze Age Pervert, Bad Billy Pratt, I guess technically me, sorta, not really though. But there was like a bunch of guys you know now that are kind of like, they love making fun of women, but they have their own thing too. A lot of these guys came up through the Artiste forums. It's absolutely hilarious. So as much as everybody shits on all these goofy red pill guys, it's like, yeah, man, we're it's like a bit of an incubator. I don't know who Feral Pog Hunter is. I made a tweet once about how he blocked me, but I have no idea who it is, and I just thought it was funny. So I'm like, how am I too edgy for Feral Pog Hunter? What the fuck? Anyways, back to the shitting on women. So this one's Cake Tits. She hates me too, by the way, because she's the one that I started. Remember that meme I do where some chick will be talking about some cause that she's right near and dear about, and I'll just like retweet it with a quote saying "not shown," the fucking thing she's talking about. It's kind of a reference to I make it everything all about them. Same thing here. I guess somebody in that little hen pecking thing called her fat. And she's like, it's not fat, it's stored fertility. Hips, thighs, curves, trying to play herself off as the hottest chick ever. And of course, look at fucking Milo. Got a picture of her from TP USA. He's like, this is like a rad femme Hitler rug pull, man. It's like Nuke with his every girl's a catfish Sydney Sweeney shit. And it's like, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And again, I'm not just shitting on women because I think it's funny to watch women knock down a pig or two. I don't really care about that shit. My point here is like slapping some sense into a dude. It's like, dude, this is the chick that you're cranking it to? Like, really? Look. Well, she still looks okay. Yeah, it's fine. She looks okay. She's mid. Most girls are mid. Almost all girls are mid. By definition, girls cluster around the mid. But it's like, here, they're not gods. They're not angels. It's not the Virgin Mary. It's just some random, what is she? Italian? Portuguese? I don't fucking know. It's that generic, like brown, Mediterranean-ish thing. Maybe she's Spanish. I don't fucking know. But they're just chicks. And yeah, they lie and they do themselves up, and that's what they do because they want to look great. That's an advertisement. You think McDonald's doesn't make the hamburger look better in the fucking ad? It's like, of course they do. But they're not that good. Why are you so mean to her? I'm not mean to her. This is what God gave her. I'm just showing it. Like, relax. They're just chicks, man. They're just chicks. Yeah, but the one was finger banging a dude or getting finger blasted at a TP USA event. It's like, yeah. They're all sluts. It's fine. Just don't obsess about it. What am I supposed to do? I saw the statistic where it's like, the more dicks a girl has, the more chance she has of divorcing me. It's like, it's like, that's the iPhone, bro. Oh, she won't fuck you without an iPhone. Really? All those 50 guys had iPhones? Like, fuck off. Fuck off. She's a 5 on the mid scale. Yeah. It's like, look, they're all going to do this shit. You know why? Because they can. They can. And they have. It's almost like a mathematical certainty. So don't give this whole, I can find one that doesn't. Like, maybe you can. But here's the problem now, is if you find a chaste girl at the age you want to get married at, there's probably a reason. And it's not a good one. It's one with like a stunted family, had the sexuality beat out of her. There's some FGM chicks out there, you know, with that get the snip and stuff like that. They still do that. That's fucked up. And it's horrible. And it's barbaric. But it's not your problem to fix that chick, because you can't. There's one of them that's on here. And I didn't know at first. I'm like, who is this cranky feminist bitch? And I was talking with Chesty, and he goes, oh, just so you know. And he was explaining, she got her, you know, I just call it FGM. You could look up the acronym. I'm not about to get banned off of YouTube for saying what actually happened. But there was that, a bunch of daddy issues, and it just turned her into an angry, bitter, horrid woman. But at the same time, she was so starved for attention that it created this fucked up. It's like that movie Wicked City, where the demon tried to sleep with Kenshi to see if he was really the one. And then her vagina turned into like a spider and tried to bite him. And I was like, holy shit. It's like that. Fuck that. Yeah, I see that. I'm not watching any of the new mystery stuff. I don't want to. I have a mystery that's in my head, and that's the mystery I'm keeping. I don't want him. It's like Stefan Molyneux. Like, if you were a huge Freedom Main Radio, you come back and you see him doing his shit now, it's like, nah, man, this ain't it. Just don't watch your heroes. If you grew up watching somebody and they leave for a while and then they come back, don't go back. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now. I used to watch Ryan when I was 17. If you're 23, fucking stop. Don't go. Just go. How funny is that? So yeah, like, that's it. It just, you're like, well, what do I do then? If they're just going to leave you anyway, it's like they may and they may not, but it has nothing to do with notch count. That's a correlation at best. Everybody's talking about sluts aren't loyal. Well, it's like, yeah, well, here's the thing. Chicks that aren't loyal have a lot of sex. Girls that have a lot of sex aren't necessarily disloyal. You know, all poodles are dogs, not all dogs are poodles. Same thing there. So yeah, you can use it as like a loose correlation. It's like, maybe this has something to do with something, but probably not. Probably not. Like, I still laugh. This is going to be my like inner city liberal kind of view thing of me, but like, I'll go to my favorite ramen place. Your city has a favorite ramen place? Like, yes, shut up. It's really good. They even have Japanese people doing it too. It's like, it's one of the few places that has like not Indians running the store. But and I remember every time you go in there, there's always like hipster families. Like, there was this one chick, fucking sleeves down to her wrist, neck tattoo, the dream catcher, like everything. And her husband was like a he looked like the guy who would work at a tattoo parlor. And they're sitting there and they're feeding ramen to their kids, like little toddlers, 2 years old. And they're having a great old time. It's like a nice, happy, tattooed up family. And I was like, look at how sweet those people are. But if you had to listen to the internet, it's like, oh, dude, that whore's sucking 8 dicks in his back thing. It's like, I don't think they are, man. I think they're just living life. As much as I like to think it's still the 1950s and tattoos mean somebody went to prison, they just don't. At least not in Canada. Here, it's kind of like, it's like virginity, where if you see somebody that doesn't have a tattoo, there's probably something wrong with them. Turns out all the markers we used to test for success just aren't there anymore. There's not. Free gender. $20 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. The 4 heartfelts. I've already done 2 Jack Murphy ads. I'm not doing another one. I was listening to the pop star. Who? He said a girl on the releases, the painting. Fuck, man. Hold on a sec, guys. I got to read this and parse it, because I think there's a lot of euphemisms in here that I don't understand. I still don't understand it. I'm just going to read it straight. I was listening to the pop star. He said a girl on the releases the pairing hormone 5s, which means you're only allowed to bang her once every 10 years to be married for 50 years. Lol, how's that for a statistic? I don't know what any of that means. I'm trying. It's a very generous super chat, and thank you very much. I don't understand a word of that. I don't know who the pop star is. I don't know what the pairing hormone 5s means. Once every 5 to 10. How's that for a statistic? I mean, it's a statistic. Look, if it, like, let me know in the chat if it makes sense, because I'm confused. Is this one of those things where you get me to read some random nonsense? It's like in that movie Sneakers, where they get him to say his key code, and then you like put it into a tape recorder, and then you put it in front of the speaker, and then you get into my banking. Like, what is this? I don't know. Do broken women have a high notch count, or are they broken because they have a notch count? Yeah, and it's generally speaking, that's pretty much a settled science. It's the other way around. Like, the broken women have high notch counts, but high notch counts don't break women. Because it turns out for a lot of girls, the only thing they have to offer is their sexuality. So that's how they get validation from men. But then some girls just like sex. Like, you wouldn't believe it when every now and then when you find a porn star who's like, no, nice family, love my dad, it's great, I just love dick. And you're like, fair. You'll recognize them because they're the porn stars that don't suicide after 10 years, like the last 6 or 7 that have. Which I should have done some research. There's like 3 porn stars that just OD'd or suicided in the last couple years, and for the life of me, the one was Cagney Lynn Carter. I think she was pills or shotgun. I don't know. The second one was a Canadian, actually. She's from Halifax. August Ames. I think she was pills. I don't fucking know. And then the third one was just recently, and I don't know who the fuck that is. I wish I was better off with this stuff. I'm not. I actually do research. I'm one of the few people that could say, oh, I need to know this for work. Yeah. Okay, where are we got in here? Oh, you put some things, read and chat. My bad. Okay, yeah, thank you very much, sir. So we're getting back to this one. And yeah, it's a lot of gossip, whatever. Who cares? Doesn't really matter. None of that stuff matters. The part that makes me laugh is, so this chick is it's like a Staten Island chick. What's her name? Leonarda Joni. She's a comedian. She's kind of like Chrissy Mayer, which, think Amy Schumer if she was thin and funny and nothing like Amy Schumer. That's what these girls are like. Keto only works for fat people with insulin resistance. If you're fat like this, you need a high protein, low fat diet. Just fucking savage. But it's good because right now everybody's just piling on because it's the funniest thing for today. Remember how I keep telling you guys social media is just like a 6-year-old soccer game? Well, these chicks kicked the ball and they became the main character of Twitter. Now everybody's just going to swarm them. Like, even I'm here swarming it. So, like, it's the game. We're all sitting here swarming this soccer ball. Tomorrow, somebody's going to kick that soccer ball in a different direction. Probably like, why is Matt Walsh in the girls' locker room? What the fuck? Yeah, so there's the one. So that's the chick, the one from, and it's not Jubilee, apparently. That's the one with the button. I don't know what the other one is called. What's the debate one in the circle called? Jessie Jane? I think Jessie Jane, wasn't she the one who does like a $1 billion empire, became a producer and like did some crazy shit? Or am I mistaking her for somebody else? Was that Jenny McCarthy? No, that's the one that married Ace Ventura dude there. And she was the playmate. Dude, I can't keep my host straight. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, here we go. So talk to text screwed up. Oh, you were doing talk to text? That explains it. The guy on Redonkulous. Oh, Terrence Popp. Terrence Popp said the pairing hormone is only released the first 5 times a girl has sex. On the 6th time she has sex, the pairing hormone is so low she can no longer pair. That was his argument for the high school notch count. By the way, I look at it as even if she's with the same dude, the 5th time she has sex, she can no longer pair with that man. Yeah, I don't do phrenology either. Look, I like, you know me, I like Terrence. I've done some podcasts with Terrence. I got nothing but patience for him. I've never got a nice word to say about him. His military thing on administrative violence, fucking, I get to say that, oh, he saved my life. Like, that was probably the most helpful red pill thing I'd ever read. But yeah, no. The pair bonding shit, we're not penguins. Humans are not mating for life species. We're just not. I'm sure there's some biological reason for it or whatever, but you just have to look through the history. Were humans ever monogamous for life? And it's like, no. Turns out we're the other way about it. Women have like an innate need to have multiple fathers. And that was like an evolutionary adaptation. So like, yeah, if you're going to fall for some kind of disease or whatever, having more children from different fathers made it more likely that those people survive famines and other kind of things. And so the species kind of evolved that direction over the hundreds of thousands of years or however long it took. So what he's referring to is the pair bonding hormone, and this is going to get a little scientific here, and I was just supposed to talk about hoes, man. I was just supposed to talk about bitches getting finger blasted at TPUSA, and now we're here talking science. This is mostly based on stuff from the old works of like Pinker, Miller, Minson, and Buss. Back when they were still good and they didn't ignore the conclusions of their own stuff, but having sex has a hormonal response to it. For serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, testosterone. I think I'm missing one. Either way, that's the gist of it. Sometimes they happen during the seduction process. Sometimes they happen post-orgasm, blah, blah, blah. So when you talk about the pair bonding one, if I'm not mistaken, the two hormones most responsible for what would be the best way to describe pair bonding would be serotonin and oxytocin. Rollo probably does this a lot more eloquently than me. So on Sunday, you can ask him on his 4-hour super chat. That's why like pillow talk is a thing. After you've had sex with a girl, you're like, yeah, I love talking about feelings. That's great. It's because you're flooded with oxytocin. It's the pair bonding hormone. It makes guys simultaneously less sexually desirable, but also more comfortable to be around. That's kind of like nature's way of like, oh, these people had sex. Well, let's keep them together so that they, don't just throw babies in the river. But here's the thing. It's always temporary. There's no 5 shots and you're out. That's it. I don't know the exact time it lasts for, but it's a temporary thing. And that's why you have to constantly have a healthy sex life to have what you would consider pair bonding. Turns out it's a thing you have to foster. You have to work at it. You have to continue to do it. That's why a lot of guys, their marriages were great until they had kids. And then the wife starts blaming postpartum depression and all this kind of shit, right? And it turns out it's not that. It's post-nut clarity for women. Yeah, all the great sexual feelings, the alpha, all that's there. And then the baby thing comes. They switch over to more of a beta mode, and he's not providing that level of comfort and oxytocin that she requires. So her attraction dissipates. Their sex life dissipates. And then when the resurgence comes after like 5 years after giving birth, the woman tends to get her reinvigorated sex drive, but has no attraction for the guy. And so they move on. And that's kind of the process. David Clare talks about it in Practical Female Psychology. Not in such clinical terms, but he refers to it as the betaization process. Like I said, I'm fucking good at this stuff. I was that idiot who's like, I want to read all the 3 R's. Yeah, well, I did. So I get to wax poetically about this shit. It is cringe. I get it. But it's still the thing. It's still true. Because most of the time when you a lot of the red pill guys were coming in, that's how you know it's like at least useful, if not true, is that, oh, my wife left me, blah, 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 cheated on me, blah, blah, blah. And then they would start showing him things like the betaization process, and he would be able to map it to his relationship. Like, dude, actually, this maps fairly well to my fucking marriage. And enough guys did that. We're like, all right, well, it's good enough. It's predictable. We can live with that. Yeah, postnatal clarity. Anyways, I think we can get rid of this stupid fucking Twitter nonsense. Let's go back to normal. Yeah. Matt Walsh, what is you doing there, sir? What is you there for, bro? I also find it funny that Andrew Wilson's wife, Rachel, or whatever her name is in there too. It's like, how did you get involved in this? You just got to make it about you, huh? I'm the patriarch or the matriarch. I'll teach you bitches a lesson. Yeah, it's just... And here's the thing. Like, there's a lot of stuff. And you guys, I know some of you know something about something, but you don't know everything about everything. And that's fine. I know most of what I can, but not everything. And there's always something that I feel like, oh my God, I've forgotten about this. Like, I've forgotten more than you'll ever know. And yeah. The point is, some of this stuff is useful. Some of the stuff is not useful. Some of the stuff is incorrect. Some of the stuff is correct. You got that 4 quadrant. Things that are useful and correct, absolute best. That's the stuff that most everybody knows because that's what gets the most traction. Because it's very easy to say something that's true and useful. People love it. There's some things that are untrue, but useful. Those are the ones that get all the acrimony, and they're popular now because they're the ones that piss people off. I don't do that. Yeah, but if I act like you did, I tend to do better shit, you know? And then here's the other problem, is that there is enough sexless retards out there that the things that are incorrect and not useful are an entire brand identity. That's your MGTOW. That's your black pill guys. That's all that stupid shit. And it's normally just a bunch of third world migrants bitching about how, oh, all our women are fucking the white guys and now they come to me when they want to. Like, no, they're not. Shut up. The only reason I even know they exist anymore is because I follow Becky, and BX always has this thing about pedo rings and that. And for some reason, these guys keep coming up. Like, it's so hilarious. The incel guy. It's caught on the watch list. Who'da thunk? Yeah, tell me about the unknown unknowns, Mr. Rumsfeld. You know what sucks? That was actually one of the most lucid things he's ever said about the Iraq War. But the problem was he was such a prick, and they were so evil that it's like ruined the saying. Fucking damn you, Rumsfeld. How dare you, sir? We believed in you. You sold us out. You electrocuted guys in the shower, you son of a bitch. True story. Or no, it was Halliburton. That was Darth Vader himself. But and again, it's like it's a lot. There's a lot there. There's a lot of guys that have done a lot of work for a long period of time with various degrees of rigor, and it can be a bit much. And a lot of this stuff has kind of got leap of faith vibes to it, so I would not take it. Don't listen to me and just be like, yeah, it's true, it's great. That doesn't work this way. The best way it works is you take stuff, and most stuff is going to be like 2/3 of it. You're like, yeah, that kind of maps to my life, and then 1/3 of it is going to be like, you know what? He was right 2/3 of it. I'll do that. And then you kind of just pay attention. Just keep your eyes open. Does this map to my life? And if it does, that's great. Then you adopt all of it. And if it doesn't, you're like, yeah, it doesn't work for me. And then you just keep reiterating that cycle for long enough. Derek, $5 super chat. Being too long with a woman lowers testosterone. What can you do to counteract? Well, I mean, assuming we're not just talking about the rigors of age, did you know women get microdosing testosterone after sex? Yeah. We give her some of the hormone in the money shot. So yeah, the best way you can counteract a lowering testosterone level on women is to have sex more often. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't really do menopause research because I'm like, why would I? But I'm pretty sure it's estrogen drives off a cliff and testosterone goes up when women go through menopause. So, I mean, that's always the thing too. Just wait till she turns 50 and you'll be fine. Apparently touching a baby lowers it too. Yeah, here's the thing. I hear a lot of that where having babies lowers testosterone for men and shit like that. I'm here to tell you a secret. You know what really lowers testosterone? Not sleeping. Do you know the one greatest way to not get sleep? Have a baby. And it's so funny that people are like, oh, being a father kills your testosterone. It's like, no, man. Going without sleep for 5 years or however long, that's what lowers your testosterone. That's why guys all of a sudden start doing well once the kids go back to school. Everybody starts getting better and we start. It's nothing to do. There's no magic baby secretion that kills people. All it is, it's just sleep, man. Lifting weights raises tests, yes. And there's actually a great Whisper one on this one too, where if you don't sleep, you might as well not be lifting. And he's right. Lifting weights doesn't make you stronger. Lifting weights makes you weaker. Resting after lifting weights makes you stronger. And there's a whole lot of like chemical processes and brain processes and nerve process, but the rest period stuff. So if you're not sleeping, cortisol is up, testosterone is down, all this shit's fucked up. So yeah, if you're not sleeping, it doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing at the gym. You're just beating your body up for no reason. Yeah. Nothing kills the mood like a broken hip. Osteoporosis. Make sure girls eat calcium. I have a feeling, though, a lot of that female osteoporosis thing, like I'm assuming the milk production, they probably lose a lot of calcium, so you got to give them that. But I know a lot of chicks are vegans and vegetarians, and so they just don't eat meat, which is like a great source of calcium. Meat and cheese and milk in that. So I think a lot of it is just stupid girl diets. But hey, what do I know? I'm just some random guy. Yeah. See, Andrew Tate gets it too. And that's the funniest part. While like I just got through a whole thing about the betaization process. It's a very complex, longitudinal, unintuitive process that you have to kind of accept based on a whole bunch of experience. And then that's in the red pill. But at the same time, it's like, dude, stop overcomplicating it. Just get some sleep. Get some sleep. Don't eat like shit. Lift some weights. 90% of your problems solved right there. And you could put the whole don't ever drink thing, but I'm like, no. Losing weight and drinking doesn't really work well together, but just like avoiding booze as if that's going to do it, it's like, no. But I will say this. If you're thinking about, I'm going to start taking testosterone therapy, or I'm going to start doing all this, and I'm going to eat raw liver, and you start having all these plans, like I'm going to remove seed oils from my diet. It's like, dude, if you're really worried about detoxifying your diet and shit, and you're drinking on the regular, just stop the booze for a bit. If you can lay off of booze and snacks, brush your teeth every day for like 3 months, then you can worry about little shit like, maybe I should start taking testosterone. Yeah, maybe. Did you brush your teeth this morning? No.
Here's a story of a cocky lady who thought her gold standard was legit. Then finally when she got an actual challenge, it all went to shit.
Well, yeah, it's because booze is a very surface level sleep. You don't get REM sleep. It's what you kind of need. Anyways, what are we talking about here? Oh, don't drink 4 coffees a day. That's it. D's nuts, you're out. Don't drink 4 coffees a day. Do you know there's like, I did the math on some days. I drink something like 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. No, it was more than that. Because like a cup of coffee is like 120 milligrams, I think. But yeah, there was some days where I would hit like 1,000. And it's just funny. But it's not an addiction thing. Because case in point, lately, I just haven't drank coffee. I don't know, for the last month and a half, I just stopped drinking coffee. I don't know. Every now and then it gets like it's too much chocolate tasting. And I kind of just lose interest in it. And sometimes I'll switch to tea and sometimes I just go without. And someone's like, I'll go without. Or like I'll have a G Fuel here and I have liquid caffeine sometimes. And just, I'll start it and I'll stop it. I don't find it matters, or my pituitary gland is burned out and it doesn't really matter. Just go for a hike in the forest. Oh, wait. Fuck you, John. The latest one. You guys hear this? You know it's illegal to go outside in Canada? You guys were joking around back during COVID that, oh, this is just going to be a setup. They're going to start having climate change lockdowns. And everybody's laughing. You fucking idiots. What happens? Nova Scotia has a walking outside ban. Just had the first $28,000 ticket. Hold on a second here. Let me see if I can find it. I know I said some shit on it. All right, now that I got the Twitter thing open, I might as well use it. There she is. Yeah, let me just pull this up again. Where's my fucking button? Yeah, look at this. Jeff Evely. Retired Canadian veteran, Afghanistan, NORAD, Nijmegen. Oh, dude, he did Nijmegen? By the way, out of all of these things, the deployments in that, Nijmegen is the one that gets my fucking respect. That is an annual hike that all the NATO countries do. And I say hike, but it's like 200 kilometers, something like that. It's essentially redoing the path, I think, that Canadians did through Europe when they freed the Netherlands from the Germans. And they go there in like full rig. So they're doing rucksack marches, like a 200K rucksack march. So yeah, guys are doing that. Like you have to get chosen for it. It's got the same qualifications as like a special forces prelim. If you want to be a clearance diver or JTF or some shit or a SAR tech. So like that's pretty impressive. I'll put that above your NORAD, your Afghanistan, and your Iraq shit any day. Anyways, yeah. $28,000 fine for walking in the woods in Nova Scotia. A fucking island. It's fucking brutal. And why are they doing that? Because of climate change. The fire season's out. We don't want to have anybody start any fires. And it's like, dude, that's not how it works. Like what you would normally do is just have like a campfire ban. No camping, stay out of the woods, no burning fires. That makes sense. Of course, the problem is last year, a massive amount of fires. You know how we had a bunch of smoke going to the States from all the fires? Well, yeah, that's because we had a bunch of Antifa assholes and like native separatists starting them. That's what that was. But they can't just say, I got to kick all the communists and the Browns out of the woods here because they're starting fires and they can't arrest them. So the way they do, they just ban walking. It's like, fuck these guys. I can't wait to get out of this shithole, man. Like I said, this is my current financial goal because like I've already got the immigration lawyer and we're kind of working on this stuff and it's a slow process and I'm fine with that. I'm not hard up and like in a rush. But the big thing that's kind of annoying is, so my girl's a good little earner. She's got her 6-figure salary. But the visas I can get, she wouldn't be applicable for. So I need to either find a quality of life that can take 100,000 hit to us and still do good with, or double my income. Either way, then that solves the problem. Or just her visa. So we're working on all 3 fronts. We'll see what happens. Anyways, the point of that story is by supporting me by reading and enjoying Softbone, now on paperback, now on hardcover, on Kindle. In a little bit, it's going to be out in audiobook too. So if you don't want to read it, I'll read it to you. But if we can get this thing to be the fucking book of the year, like I'm talking successful, then I'll see you in Vegas. You're actively working on helping this refugee get out of his war-torn shithole. Got my Kindle copy day one. Oh, appreciate it, sir. I can't wait, actually. I'm so mad it took me so long. Like, I want to get the small, because, like, the normal copy, this one's an 8 or 9 by 6 by 9, and it's big. It's too big. I don't like it. But the actual print copies are going to be smaller. They're 8 by 5, and I find that's a way better fit because it fits in your hand. But it's also large enough that you don't have those stupid 7 by 4 travel ones that fits in your purse or whatever. So like I said, details matter. And just shaving an inch off of this thing makes it something you just pick up and read without having to pull this shit out. You just have it. And it all holds in like your hand. And I got small hands. Oh, thank you, Jack. There you go. Softbone available there. By the way, Jack's On Women is out. I am ordering a print copy of that, so we'll see what happens when it comes in. What purse? You guys got women. They read. Come on. It's called a satchel. It's a messenger bag. Look, all right, you know what? Fine. Cat's out of the bag. I was the biggest metrosexual in the 2000s. I'd argue I still am. The different types of bags as a guy you can wear. Obviously, there's fanny packs. They just sit on your waist and they have like a little belt on it and a little thing in the front. It's kind of dumb. Then they had unisex bags, which are ones that are like slung off the shoulder. It's like a backpack, but it's only got one over the shoulder sling to it. Then you have messenger bags. Messenger bags were based on the old bike messenger ones. I think they were invented in San Francisco for like newspaper boys. They're the ones that sling over your shoulder, but they have they're more of like a duffel thing on the side. Those are messenger bags. And then they've kind of advanced since then to where like a lot of journalists will have them so that because they can hold laptops, they can hold paperwork. It's almost like a soft-shelled briefcase, but soft-shelled briefcases kind of disappeared and morphed into messenger bags. And so they kind of made this new thing. And that's what messenger bags are now. And everybody's like, oh, it's like a purse, like a chick. It's like, no, sometimes guys need to hold shit that doesn't fit in your pocket. It happens. The coach is a British cigarette who likes to go to art museums. First off, I love to go to art museums. Second off, not British. I mean, historically, ethnically, I'm British. But I'm not British. Do I look Muslim to you? Yeah. Why run? Whole American continent is going to be like New Delhi in 8 years. It's already redeemed. I don't think so. To be fair, I've had kind of a theory on this too. So I don't know if you follow the Commonwealth at all, but Prince Charles, back when he was Prince Charles, he's King Charles now, but back when it was Prince Charles, he had this news report came out where he claimed to be an atheist, which was problematic because once you become the King of England, you also become the head of the Anglican Church. So it's like the Pope telling you he's an atheist. So and the rumor was The Queen, she was not a fan of Charles and all that little bullshit, so she stayed on as long as possible. It's like, I don't want this guy running shit. Yeah, you're not gay, but you're gay enough. You're hetero-flexible, technically. There was that. And the rumor is now he's kind of got his eat, pray, love phase, the king, where he loves Islam and he thinks it's the way of the future and shit like this, which would make sense then, because right now every Commonwealth country who all shares Five Eyes, intelligence, are all making the same legal steps towards mass migration from the same area of the world at the same time. And I'm like, I wonder, does the king still have that kind of pull where he's been the primary driver of all this shit? Makes you wonder. And if that's the case, is William, he's sitting there with his nice British family and his nice British kids doing his nice British thing. Is he looking at dad like, dude, I'm gonna have to fix all of this? And then, when the king passes and the king takes over, is it gonna all of a sudden turn into this hardcore fucking British Civil War thing? I don't know. It's fun fan fiction. Just makes you wonder. All right, free gender, $10 super chat. Oh, there it is. Please read in chat. It would not let me super chat. Also, I've been a member of Rollo's channel for 8 months. YouTube will not let me send him one super chat. Oh, you're the guy. Rollo was talking about this, where some guy was always like, I can't send you money. I don't know what the fuck it's doing. That's actually interesting. All right, yeah, I'll read your chat. Just let me find it. Which, by the way, guys, if you can't fit a super chat in your super chat, just leave it in a comment underneath. I'll read it on. Just let me know so I know to look out for it. Anyways, while I wait for you to do that, the Alpha AK $20 1 cent super chat. Truly a king of our times. Thank you very much, sir. You guys joke, but that 1 penny is the difference between me hating myself and liking you guys. This is to get you to the US, but we all know you're just going to spend this on Starbucks. I actually have not gone to Starbucks in a very long time. If you don't know why, you haven't been following me. Starbucks has become very diverse, and that is our strength. But I have, yeah, you know the spiel. Dude, I want somebody with a septum piercing and blue hair and a lisp. Otherwise, the coffee just don't taste right. Anyways, free gender. Let me see. Did you already put your thing out there or not yet? Oh, no, you haven't put it in there yet. All right, it's fine. I'll keep an eye out. When I see your comment, I'll go on to it. Well, the good news is the king is an old fart who won't be on the throne for 60 years. Yeah, you know what? That's the same thing as people talking about the boomers aren't going to be around forever. The boomers got another 20 years of life in them. The king's got another 20 years life in him. And what's going to happen then? Everybody now talking about, don't worry, we'll get there. We'll all be in our 60s, 70s by the time this shit pops off and all of a sudden things get better just in time to retire. It's like, I don't know, man. You make decisions based on today. I can't send the $5 super chat, so it goes to $4.99. Even the system likes you that way. All right, so I still don't see anything from Free Gender. I'm keeping an eye out. It's probably going to be a very long post about pair bonding, which we're not going to agree on this. And even if we did agree, most of what I'm just saying is the stuff that's been articulated within the red pill stuff. So that's another thing, for in general. I don't know if that's this at all, but in general, when you guys see me spouting off about red pill stuff, it doesn't really matter if I believe it or not. It doesn't really matter if I agree with it or not. For the most part, it's mostly just oh, this is the stuff that's there. Case in point, that early talk about calling it bratty shit test versus this. I don't like the name either, but I didn't choose it. It's like a lawyer. Do you like the laws written? No, but that's not really my call now, is it? Yeah. Prince Philip lived to 100. Dude, he was fucking funny. He used to say some of the wildest shit. I remember there was a famous trip he went to Africa. I can't remember where. It might have been to Nigeria or whatever. But he looked over at the one dude, the chieftain that he was meeting or the president or whatever it was. He goes, do you guys still chuck spears? And I was like, oh shit. And the funny thing is, because he was born in 1890, he was born in the Napoleonic War era. So when he's asking about chucking spears, he really wanted to know if he had any cool spears. But over the last 100 years, that's taken a completely different connotation. It just makes me laugh how he was so based like that. I just put it in chat again. If you can't read it, I'm being shadow banned because of word. That's most likely the case. You know the weird thing too? It's not even that you're being shadow banned. Thank you, by the way, Free Gender. It doesn't even let me know. Like, normally what happens is if somebody has a comment here that gets removed for whatever reason, because I don't think I have language filters, it used to tell me, and then I could choose to accept it or not. It just doesn't even show me anymore. It's fucking weird, man. The best thing I could suggest is, like, it's probably pretty obvious which word they're trying to get rid of. Just skip it, and I'm pretty sure I can infer what you're trying to say. Yeah, it doesn't matter what it's called as long as it's useful. And that's really the key part. Because remember, too, a lot of this old red pill stuff, it was needlessly acrimonious, very edgy, and irritating on purpose. Because that was the attraction filter. Because if you remember, there was this guy, Dr. Warlock, who came out with an article in 2014, How to Get Laid Like a Warlord. And it had some like bravado at the beginning, like, yeah, you want to get laid like Genghis Khan, fuck half the country and blah, blah, blah. This is what you do. And it was just mostly like boilerplate stuff to make yourself, like the low-hanging fruit of stuff to make yourself more attractive and more confident and better off with women, right? The funniest thing is that feminists at the time don't read past the title. So they were like, oh my God, this guy wants to make you into a murderer. He's Elliot Rodger. And it was like all of this negative press on it. And of course, people are rubberneckers. Oh, dude, this guy's talking about Genghis Khan shit, raping and pillaging. Let's go look. And everybody looks and they're like, wait a minute. Oh, actually, this is actually pretty normal advice once you get past the headline. And that's how like 90% of the red pill got its start. Say some shit that pisses off feminists. Feminists give it a megaphone by yelling at it. And then rubberneckers will look at it. Oh, this is crazy. It's edgy. Great. And then, you know, a portion of them are like, it's fucking whatever. Another great example that was Archwinger with his every unhappy wife is a rape victim. Dude, if you've ever read that, it's like you can't negotiate desire, essentially. If she's not into you, you can't force her to be into you. She might still sleep with you, and it's like marriage thing right here. Like, she might sleep with her husband if she's not attracted. She's afraid of losing her marriage. But at the best, you're going to get that shit. And he was like, psychologically, it's like it's in the same realm. It's a woman losing her agency. They don't like it. They tend not to react better. And it doesn't feel like a win. So it's not even very good. It's not fun. That was the point of it. But you throw that R word in there and oh my God, people are like, what the fuck is this misogyny bullshit? It really was. And I feel bad about this, but it was I'm going to call it the manosphere because I can't think of what else to call it. But like the marketing guys, your Mike Cernoviches, your Tucker Maxes, it's all their fault because they pioneered this outrage marketing funnel. Tucker Max used to pay people to deface his billboards. And then he would use a video of the billboards being defaced as advertising. It was like brilliant at the time because billboards didn't do shit. Nobody watches a billboard. Tucker Max to have his book on a billboard. It was in the middle of nowhere. Nobody saw it. Didn't do anything. He gets a couple of his buddies to start fucking spray painting it, cutting it down, whatever. He sends that to a bunch of female Jezebel type bloggers. And they're like, yeah, look at this. Feminists are fighting back. Completely astroturfed. But it sold a shit ton of copies of, the fuck was his book called? You're Going to Hell or something like that. No, Tucker Max. 2 X's. Yeah, see, you guys, you're missing out on a lot of this stuff. And he was working with Ryan Holiday. And Ryan Holiday is the author of Trust Me, I'm Not Lying. It was Confessions of a Media Manipulator. And he told you everything that everybody did. Everything Roosh did. Everything Cernovich did. Everything Tucker Max did. Everything Mark Manson did. You guys probably don't know these names. These are like the Gen X red pill guys. The Royces and all that. He's like, here's all the goofy shit we did to manipulate the press. And here's the thing I noticed is that all the mainstream publications are doing it too. It's just they're well-oiled machines. We're amateurs at this. And he spilled all the tea. And it was just so funny because he was doing it as kind of like this is how fucked up the environment is. And I remember like when we were in our little group chat back during the convention days, I was talking about the books. And the guys were like, I should write a book on this. I'm like, oh, this guy already did. Here it is. You can add to it if you want to. And everybody got really mad at me for that. But anyways, Anthony Johnson He read Confessions of a Media Manipulator, and it was so weird because I watched his marketing instantly change on his convention, and I could almost tell which chapter of the book he was in by what he was doing. It's like, oh wow, he got an article out of like the small local branch of Fox News. Oh, he paid for that article. And then you see him get on like Piers Morgan talking about shit. It's like, oh, he did that one too now. And it was just so funny. He was treating it like an instruction manual, which I liked it in the sense that it taught me something, that this shit doesn't necessarily work. Because nobody knows who Anthony Johnson is now. Nobody cares. He did all of the stuff. He paid. He got on the news. He's on Fox News. Where the fuck is he now? Nowhere. Because none of that shit mattered. Like, it mattered at the time because it was new. But it very quickly became old hat and then stopped working. And so people had to do new stuff. And now we're at the point that fucking conservative grifting chicks have to talk about getting finger blasted at an event. Yeah, Kevin Smith protesting his own film Dogma. It's all this goofy shit. Is Mark Manson a hack? I always saw him as the Richard Simmons of the Red Pill. Well, Rollo talks about this stuff. I'm surprised. I guess you guys don't listen to the Rollo live streams. He talks about these guys constantly. Ultimately, though, and there was a great meta discussion of this back in 2016 on the Red Pill. It came right around the time, about a year before the monetization of the Manosphere by Illimitable Man, which that was where everybody was worried about things were getting too popular. It was going mainstream and we're going to lose our little niche, which sort of happened, but didn't really matter. The point was that at some point, if you're in the Red Pill, you got two choices. If you become like well-written enough, popular enough, your brand is big enough, whatever, you can become Roosh or you can become Mark Manson. And the difference was Roosh was like a purist. He liked the idea of everything and like, no, truth is truth and that matters. It kind of tends to go more on the extreme side. And that's where you kind of get a lot of his shit, that he mistakes unpopular truths for just unpopular opinions. Does that make sense? And that's where you see a lot of the crazed Roosh orthodox shit there, where like it doesn't make sense, but it pisses everybody off. And so he's like, no, it's all true because the people I don't like it, therefore it's true. Fucking retarded. Mark Manson goes the other way, where he's like, I want to soften this message. I want to appeal to a broader people. I want to be more mainstream popular. And that's where he did his, you saw his pivot. He got married and it was like instantly, you saw how his pivot happened. His first article on his Mark Manson blog when he got married was The Problem with Men, where he had gone to Pablo Escobar's ranch and then did this long diatribe about how these like hen-pecked, cucked-ass men are just brutal and they're the problem and all this shit. And everybody's like, what the fuck was that? And he would still say Red Pill stuff, but it was always very couched in language. Most guys go that route because that's, if you want to be successful, that's kind of the route you have to go. You have to go the route of being more mainstream. You have to tone things down. You have to water it down. You have to appeal to a female audience. That's just the way it works. Having said that, it's the way people say it works. I don't know if it's the way it works. In the short term, yes, because if you have a big enough brand, you can leverage that. Like, for example, Ed Latimore, huge brand. He's got a very big brand of himself on Twitter, currently on YouTube and Substack, his email list, right? Penguin House gave him a book deal. They're like, yeah, sure, fucking sign up. They wouldn't have given me a book deal because I don't have a big brand like Ed Latimore. But they get him on that. Of course, that's only temporary because, you know, it's the same thing as you see with like Warhammer 40k, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, every male hobby. Because men are the ones that tend to make niches extremely popular. So I'm curious how Ed's going to manage it. I really am. I'm kind of watching it from the sidelines because you've seen the whole go get woke, go broke thing. That's not really what it is. It's just guys are taking their thing that they're really good at and passionate about, appealing to a broad audience, which essentially means women, because women spend money. Credit card debt, consumer spending. Everybody knows this. Visa knows it. MasterCard knows it. PayPal knows it. They come out with annual shareholder reports. And what do they say? Women spend 7 times as much as men. And so if you want to sell something and be popular, even Wall Street Playboy had his thing. If you want to be successful in a business, you either sell to high status men or to women, because they're the only ones that spend money. Big margin ticket items, high status men. Mass market appeal, women. Mass market men don't buy shit. Ask me how I know. The super chats here have been wonderful, but I'm just saying, Fresh and Fit pulls in like 30 grand a week. We're pulling in like $1,000. Half a grand. Which is fine. I'm not complaining. Just telling you the way it is. So yeah, it's not get woke or broke. It's appeal to women, and women are fickle. Women move on. Women love novelty, and women hate not being pandered to. So ultimately, like, where's Mark Manson now? He might be pulling in a good career. He might have moved on. I don't really know. I don't really see or hear much from him anymore. Same thing with Tucker Max. Same thing with Mark. Like, none of them. So why don't I do it? Because I don't think it's sustainable. I don't. Like I said, a lot of what I do in my life is just watch what other people do and see how it ended up for them. Like, you know that whole put that bucket on your head right now? Dude, I've lived that for most of my life, and I'm telling you it's worth it. You see how these people end up. I don't see Tucker Max's career, like, it peaked when he was peak misogyny. He went mainstream, and yeah, he had an initial burst with his whole first book after. He's like, now I've got a family, and I think traditional conservatives are great. He got a couple spots on Fox News, did his book. Now he's gone. Same with Mark Manson. Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Oh, wow, that was great. And then he kind of drifted off too. All of them did. I think it's honestly one of those things that everybody thinks your name to fame is mainstream appeal and watering yourself down. But I think what happens is you get that initial burst and then you just fall off because it's just a novelty, a niche. My decision has been to, like, don't be afraid to try new things. That's the big thing. I hate the one thing that terrified me is watching like Stefan Molyneux or who's the other one? Vox Day. Like, he's in this box now where Vox has to talk about the socio-sexual hierarchy. If he doesn't have a Gamma Mail article once a week, nobody's going to care. Myron, same thing. Fresh and Fit, wildly popular. He tries to do anything else, nobody gives a shit. So he's that guy now. Like, he's so desperate to get out, and he knows it sucks. He's desperately trying to get out of that box now to the point that he's yelling at Jews. You know you're desperate. You're like, you know what? Anti-Semitism, that'll get him. And if you think the anti-Semitic route is going to be like a business appropriate thing, it's like, look, the Fuentes money, you might get one book deal out of it, but after that, I don't see it getting too much traction. I'm not even saying this is a hater thing. I'm just saying I haven't seen the David Duke pivot work. Not once. Spencer doesn't. Who knows who fucking Spencer is now? Nobody knows who David Duke is. Fuentes is just 5 years off from his once he hits the wall. But the things I notice that people that do well are ones that just, give a shit about what they do. Like, I'm not making the attempt to become world famous. I'm making the attempt to just, what I do it well. And that's kind of where the Red Pill thing was. Like, you saw it in Sidebar series. It's all hundreds of hours of like dry lectures. That's it. I don't attach the pizzazz to it. I mean, there was some chick talks, but chick talk was technically supposed to be satire. I was making fun and having a satirical take on all the wham and ain't shit videos out there. And like the trend of just watching TikToks and that. And I made it over the top and bombastic, and I tried to keep it. And because most guys have like a really negative, I hate women and I hate all this shit to it. I'm like, how about you make it with like the same optimism of like WrestleMania 6 or like a Miller Lite commercial. And so it was always like that too. But then all of a sudden everybody's like, yeah, this is great. Fuck these bitches. And I was like, all right, I'm not good at satire. What can I say? Dark Knight Dev, $5.69 super chat. A couple of those conservative women are mud sharks. The black fatigue is from constantly visiting Pound Town. At least the OnlyFans girls sell you a dream. Dark Knight Dev, out of all the people here to use the word mud sharking, you, sir, are the last one I would expect. I don't even think I get to say it. I'm only like 20% in my genes. It's mostly British, like 20% or something like that. Like, I always joke, my brother has an afro and brown eyes and brown hair. He's got some blonde hair, blue-eyed kids. It's so funny. We had a bunch of jokes, and he's like, oh, look at our dad. And we looked, it's like all of our family, with the exception of our mom, is all like blonde haired, redheads and blondes. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Anyways, the point is, I don't get to drop N-bombs, and I don't get to use mud sharking unironically. So I guess thank you, sir, for pulling it out there. I didn't say it. He said it. But the one thing I always joke about is, wouldn't it be funny when you're reading Chateau Artiste like me, and you're like, oh, this stuff's great. And then you get to like his 2019 stuff when he starts absolutely becoming a race realist when he sold the blog off to those other 3 guys, and that's all they could talk about was black dicks. And you're just like, it just sucks because, like, I love his writing, and then he's like, yeah, people like this guy is a fucking idiot. I'm like, God damn it. I don't know if I could just sit here and be berated every week. I don't know if I got it in me. I'm brown and Latino. Same thing, sir. Unless you're Argentinian, but that means you're German. Yeah, I know it's an old school insult. It's one of those insults. It's not even vulgar anymore because people are like, what? The fuck is that? You and Rolo should co-author a book. Oh, I don't. Our writing styles aren't the same though. I don't think it would work. Rolo likes his very verbose academic stuff, and I like being very terse and minimalist. Anyways, back to the thing. Yeah, so what do I see as like the successful thing? And this works with you guys. Some of you guys might be doing like branding stuff too. The guys who I seen that are doing the most are the ones that just do their thing and they do it well and they pivot if they need to or they want to, or like everything is done here and move on. Like Seinfeld, great example. Did Seinfeld? He exited Seinfeld when it was the best show on TV. He didn't want it to have it die off. And then he moved on, started doing stand-up again, started making movies. He's like one of the most successful people out there. And what did he do? He just did things until they were done, and then he did other stuff. He never got lumped into a box. Kramer did. Kramer's now Kramer now is Mr. Stick a Fork in them. And he'll always be known as Kramer, and he can't do anything else. But Seinfeld, he does all kinds of shit. He just did a movie on Rice Krispies, for fuck's sakes. And so, yeah. And so that was like, for me, for the pivot to fiction, I think it was a great pivot. Because it's like, I've always liked reading. I've read all the Hardy Boys growing up, right? There's that. The Captain Savaho stuff, I was actually rooting for that because I thought that would be a great pivot. I don't know what Kevin's career has been doing lately. I haven't really been following it too closely, but the idea of like Rolo giving him ideas and a little bit of front money and him making movies and using that to carve out a career and make some money, that had real potential. I'm actually very sad that it died off the way it did. And I don't know how much of the why in that is public knowledge, so I'm not going to say. But it's just very funny, and it's the one thing that does concern me now is that too many people in your business ventures don't seem to work online either, because it's just, you need a group of guys that all have the same, I don't even know how to word this, market history savviness. Like to know why bringing your wife as a co-host on your podcast is not a good idea. To know why being in a group chat with the fucking e-thoughts is a bad idea. Like all those bad ideas. If you can find a business partner or a branding partner that knows all of this dumb shit not to do, and you guys just don't do that shit, you probably do way better than a solo act. But that's the problem, is that I don't think there's like 3 people right now who are at a level of, I guess, fame or success, whatever you want to call it, that I would say are above me, that I would trust to partner up with and like tie finances with. Maybe 3. I'm not going to say who, because I don't want to say who's not on the list. If you're smart, you see it yourself. Just interesting. It's just interesting, you know? Ryan is definitely the Jerry Seinfeld of Red Pill. What's the deal with Horan? They call it Horan, but she's not sleeping with you, but she sleeps with your brother. What's up with that? Master of your domain. Yeah. Couch the cooking show whilst feeding women White Claws and telling them they're cooking as shit when... Oh, dude. If I ever got a chance to do like a cooking show, that'd be so funny. Just sitting there, making food, giving shit to the girl co-host. Like, how do you fuck up whisking eggs? What the fuck? It would be hilarious. I'd get canceled, but it'd be hilarious. Something to do with the falling of Rolo and Goin Lawrence, I believe. I don't know. Like I said, you guys, if you're smart, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it. Is Glenn Lawrence the latest grubber? Fuck, I don't know how much to say on that one either. I don't want to spill tea. So if stuff's not already public knowledge, I don't want to say. But, yeah. You know what? We had a Corey Capella on Rule Zero back in the day too. So some people are just, I was raised around some pretty rough people growing up in my life, and I know the type. Cooking show on Pluto TV. You should write a screenplay. I mean, I technically did. It's one thing Nick said about the dog walker. My writing goes, it's like a screenplay. Rolo even said that, which is very kind of him. Maybe. But that's the thing. It's like, that's a whole new business pivot. Like writing fiction as a story and writing a screenplay for a movie. That's a huge investment. And I'm not saying not to, but I just don't see it in my immediate future, if that's a good way of putting it. I mean, assuming it would be even good and picked up, there's always a chance you could be a great screenwriter and then nobody would care to pick it up anyway, so it's just a waste of time. But beyond that, like, I'd have to learn about the movie business, I'd have to learn about optioning, I'd have to learn about how to talk to people and get it out there, and I'm just like, that's a whole business plan right there, and I'm just not there yet. I'm still wrapping my head around, like, fictional book writing stuff. The writing part is easy enough. It's everything surrounding it. So it's like, as much as you guys think it's kind of fun, oh, he's just doing a podcast, like, every one of these goofy things, every one of them requires a massive amount of knowledge and skills to attach to it. Like, one of the guys from my Patreon, I don't want to say who, because I think he's in the chat now, but it was just funny. He had to do essentially a podcast. He was doing like a lecture for a business meeting or lawyers or something, I don't know, convention for their trade. I don't remember the specifics on it, but he's like, yeah, it's actually extremely difficult to like this. And I'm like, yeah, it takes a lot of practice. There's a lot of skills you have to learn on it. And it's just so funny because all you see is us just sitting here saying poop and fart jokes. And you think it's whatever. I thought that too. If you go watch my earliest podcast, you'll see the difference. You'll see the difference. Just knowing what equipment to have, even knowing how to speak properly into the microphone. Dark Knight Dev, $10 super chat. I say these racial things because I'm tired of America's obsession with race. Oh, dude, don't even justify it. I found it hilarious. I found it funny as fuck. I figured it out when everybody's like calls me misogynist or evil or whatever, and it's extreme irreverence. I just don't give a fuck. So that's why I'm loving it. I love it when somebody goes out of the pocket like that, as long as it's entertaining or funny. I hate stuff that's needlessly cruel, but I mean, you're not needlessly cruel. Anyways, I dated a black woman who called me a strong black man, and I said my black skin is the least interesting thing about me. Hey, question then. So when the chicks in the States do that and they call you a strong black man, is that like in Canada or like middle class America where they're like, you'd make a good father someday? Like, is that some way to say, dude, I'd love to have you pay my bills and get married? Like, or is that like an actual compliment? I'm actually curious about this one, because some of the backhanded compliments chicks give now is like they're losing their luster. It's so funny when I see that. Some girl just said I'd make a great father someday, and I was just like, I just left. Like, fuck. And girl's like, I don't get it. I thought this is good stuff. It's like, no, you're just saying basically you don't want to fuck us, so we just leave. I just like, Zoomers are going to be all right. Here we go. Free gender, $10 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. I love watching you guys shaming women for having fun, then in the same sentence try to have fun with women. Me telling women I support fun liberation always worked better. Figured out how to super chat it. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like, I understand it. There's a hypocrisy to it, but at the same time, there's kind of not. Women do the same thing. They will shame men for all kinds of stuff and then sneak off and do the exact thing they were shaming guys for with other guys. It's just kind of the human condition. In fairness, I do the same thing. I think women could be a lot of fun, but you got to get the right one. You can't get ones that are just like fucking a gong show, which unfortunately are the same type of party girls that fun party girls are. Yeah. Yeah. Me telling women I support fun liberation always worked better. Yeah. And that's the one thing too. If you really want to get better with women, one of the easiest low hangingest fruits you can do is don't be externally judgmental. Like, I'm not saying don't judge. I'm not saying don't have strong opinions about what you think good women do or not. That's on you. But just don't do it externally. Just keep your mouth shut. She does not need to know you think she's a whore. I think Nuke put it the best. Nuclear Hadio. When he's like, the quietest sound, like he was talking about like decibel levels, like the quietest sound you'll ever hear is the sound of a man throwing you in the sex only box. It's like, yeah. It just has to be, it's this thing. One of the other biggest things you can do to improve your lot in life is just to understand that you don't need to have your inner thoughts validated by anybody. You know? I'm requiring skill to do what you're doing. I bet you'd go back to your early streams and see how bad. I have gone to my early streams. I do know how bad they are. You could say shut up as a superpower. You could say that. Absolutely, Contract. You could. But yeah, James, yes, I know how bad they are. Do you remember when I tell you guys, like when you're doing field reports, go back after a year and go see your first field reports and see how cringe they are. You think I don't do that too? Of course I do. I've read my original red pilled field reports and I was just like, oh, fuck that guy. What a fucking idiot. I've gone back to the old podcast. It took me like 3 years to even listen to my own voice on these things without fucking losing my mind. Yeah. A lot of things you learn. Just little things too I didn't even think about. Just like the angle you put your camera at. I used to have it like from down below and it's stewing up like this. Or you have it like right up above and it's just like top on the head. And just so many little things you realize like, dude, all these little things add up to like a subpar listening experience. For a lot of you guys that have been here since the start, I am amazed you stuck around back then. Because I'm like, I wouldn't have watched this shit. But I appreciate it. And I'm glad that, you know, we've grown together into somewhat competent audience and fucking dancing soft shoe. You know what I mean? Oh, for that guy earlier on, I was going to post this. I'll do that now. If you want to read Return of the Kings, as far as I know, this is the only place you're going to be able to read Return of Kings. Yeah, listening to my voice used to trigger me like hood crickets. It does. It's like, and the theory I've heard, I don't know if it's true. It's like an uncanny valley thing. So for example, when I'm hearing my own voice right now, I'm hearing it through, there's like bones in my ear and stuff, and it's my voice is resonating there. But what you hear is just the larynx and speech. So when I hear my own voice on the thing, I'm not hearing this voice, I'm hearing that voice. And it's an uncanny valley thing, and it's very uncomfortable. So you have to kind of train yourself to this. And it's a bit of like disassociation, which, to be fair, is another very strong internet podcast branding voice skill you got to learn, where it's just a job, man. Like so many guys that just chimp out on social media and have their fucking temper tantrums. Why? Because he said I was this. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? It's not even like he's worse than you. Hate comes from below. It's kind of just like, it's the job, man. Everybody has to scrub toilets at their job, and this is just the toilet. So you aren't going to write any red pill books? Ishan, I've written like 7 books, 5 of which are non-fiction red pill, and 2 are fictional with red pill themes. What the fuck more do you want from me, man? It wasn't you. It was the lack of proper competition. Good. Early adopter. I can live with that. I had to learn to use my voice properly since it's not as deep as I would like. Oh, yeah, dude. Mine isn't either. I already know that. Part of this is like the reason I bought this microphone is so I did a 3 decibel bass boost to this. Like even now, I know I'm too constricted and nasally in my speech. But then you have to, big deep breath. You have to speak slower. You got to use less air across the thing. And it seems a little forced. So I'm like, If I'm doing audiobooks, absolutely. But if we're just riffing here, I got no problem. No problem going a little nasalier than usual. Yeah, my first few Substacks, I can't believe that was me that actually wrote them. Oh, dude. My very first blog post, same thing. Like, what the fuck was I trying to say? I was trying to do that, like take my old stuff and like re-put it onto the Substack, and I read it and I was like, I don't know what I'm trying to say with this one. It's just rambling nonsense. Took about 1 million words to be able to string a sentence together. So what, like I said, boys, if you're willing to spend 10 years writing constantly, you too can eventually make a book. Oh, there we go. Dev, Dark Knight Dev, $5 super chat. The strong black man, she thinks you've got some gumption. Now about the good father quote, I replied with that, I would be the deadbeat stereotype. I'm more of the, I'm going to get some cigarettes guy. I need to go buy some milk. I'll be back in a minute. I'm that guy. I'm like the old dirty bastard of this relationship. You know, 13 kids, 13 baby mamas. I'm not the Denzel Washington of this one. Yeah. I will suggest too, like Godspeed here saying he deleted the stuff. I would say like get rid of it. You don't make it public anymore if you don't want it, but don't get rid of it. It is, if for no other reason than if you ever worry about improving over time. And this is everything. This is workout logs. This is if you like document your notch counts, if you make sex tapes with the chicks you sleep with, just save all that shit because you can go back. You're like, oh, fuck. If you were really good at something and you haven't done it in a while, you go back. It's like, I knew I was good. And you're like, yeah, I was good. And if you see stuff that you have improved on, you're like, oh, fuck, I used to be so bad at this. I'm actually not half bad now. It's the best way to counter like imposter syndrome or like any kind of like down on yourself bullshit. That's with everything. That's not even red pill advice. That's just me talking from experience, which I guess technically all red pill advice is, but more often than not, I try to inject as little of myself personally as I can. To the point that even when I'm in the workshop, I tell the guys like, yeah, this isn't even red pill advice. This is just me talking. So take it for what it's worth. God, I'm staring at that. I've been staring at it for 2 hours. I've been staring at that stupid $28,000 parking ticket for walking in the woods. Fuck me. Anyways, we're winding this one down. We made fun of women, conservative women, the good women, made fun of black women, made fun of Canadian women, made fun of hiking in the woods women, made fun of, we didn't make fun of Indian women, but, you know, whatever. Made fun of Rouge women, made fun of Chateau Artiste women, made fun of book women, made fun of Anthony Johnson women. I think that we've nailed all of the women we need to nail for this one. I hope you had fun with it. I really do. So we're going to, I just realized I haven't done any, I don't do ads anymore. And I've got them right here. Why am I not using them more?
Hey, brother, who do you think is the funniest member of Rule Zero Squad? Now? What's your favorite comment joke of theirs? I think Ryan brings good laughs. He does. Ryan is like British humor. It's like Monty Python. And people are like, if you get it, you laugh your ass off. If you don't get it, you're like...
Fuck Ryan Stone.
People just don't get his humor. Who's the funniest one on there? You mean besides John Fitch? I think John Fitch is the funniest member of Rule Zero, but he's unintentionally funny. One of the robot dogs.
Seeing this robot dog in real life was pretty surreal and terrible.
And Cappy's pretty funny. It can be pretty funny too. Who's the funniest member?
I had so many of these ones and I have so much fun with them. Like I remember this. This was such like old beef that went nowhere, but I've got like permanently got it now in the lexicon.
We know that these videos really prey on vulnerable young men who have not had many experiences in dating.
Like that one is a chick called Emily. And I remember that one started because Rich Cooper had a video of like questions to ask girls on dates or something like that. And the big one was like, ask a girl, what would your job be during the zombie apocalypse? And the idea is he wanted a woman to show investments. Like, you need to tell me that you better be loading magazines, help me shoot down zombies or whatever. Cause all these other chicks that just, you know what? And it was kind of funny, but I enjoyed it. And then Emily did like this little feminist reacts to this video. And she was just making fun of it. And that was the one line like, oh, they don't like men who date. And even at the end of it, after she was talking about how incels suck and men are horrible, she's like, you know what? I could see this being useful if it was just like a surrogate and you're just having it as a fun, lighthearted conversation, gets people to open up about themselves. And she's like, holy fuck. At the end, she actually understood what the fucking point of banter was. Anyways, I invited her. I'm like, dude, we should do a collab and have a talk about this stuff. I think it would be fun. And she goes, I don't talk to misogynists. Don't contact me again. She's just like, fucking fuck you. Fair enough. And then her friend was the Savvy Rights Books chick. It's this one.
One of the guys who ran the Red Pill channel sent me a message. I actually appreciate that you took it from an idea-based perspective instead of ever resorting to personal attack. Like, if this movement is actually going to be dangerous, do we need to understand it so that we can take it down? I knew going into it that this might be a hot mess. I'm not going to have those guys back on my channel again. Absolutely not.
Now, I think she saw that I had a decent-sized following and Rolo had a decent-sized following. She goes, you know what? Yeah, let's talk about it. I'll talk it. I'm like, that's great. Civil, whatever. Anyways, we went on the podcast. Rolo was like a half hour late or something like that. It was just me and her talking at first, and it was nice. She was very flirtatious with me, by the way, and her husband was there, and it was like, that's definitely one of those relationships where he gets to sit in the Lincoln chair. It was flirtatious, charming, because like for me, I don't like debates. I'm like, I'm not going to debate you. We're already going to yell at each other, make our audiences feel good. It's like, I'm already the red pill guy. So it's like, first thing you got to do is just, I am going to be portrayed as an evil Nazi incel. So like my big thing when you get on one of these ones is to act like a normal, sociable, functional, charming adult. If you can get that out, your battle's half over. Even the guys on the erudite one said this, like, you were so cordial in this one. Why are you a prick now? It's like, well, because she invited me on her show. It's like, not rude. Having said that, she still is bullshit, but you know what I mean? So anyways, her and me and Rolo and her cuck husband, we were chatting. It was a pleasant chat. Disagreed on stuff, agreed on some stuff. But then her chat and Rolo's chat started talking amongst each other. And I guess those people were fucking retarded. And that's where all this shit started from. It wasn't because of anything I did. It wasn't because of anything Rolo did. It's because, and it wasn't even all the chat. It was like 2 guys and then a bunch of spastic neurotic chicks. She had to do one of those on-site apologies to like her middle-aged soccer moms. And it was just the funniest beef because like nobody cared. But it was really good for meme fodder. It's just funny too because that's like, what, 5 years ago now? Living in my head rent-free. It's not rent-free. It's paying bills. Don't worry about that. It's just so funny. And I still can't remember where the fuck I left that second goddamn Pat Stedman clip. The one where the Vancouver... Oh, dude. Some of the lore goes great. There's a video on my channel about a chick in Vancouver who runs an OnlyFans account. She does a bunch of horn stuff, some like nudes and whatever. I think she's half native, half Canadian. But anyway, so she had this video out where her boyfriend calls her and is like, yeah, she wants to go serious with them. He's like, if you want to go serious with me, that's fine, but you gotta shut down your OnlyFans. I'm not gonna date a girl who's doing OnlyFans. Anyway, she chimps out. Fucking takes her phone, smashes it, throws it on the thing, throws it out the window, and then starts twerking in front of a mirror for 10 minutes. It was just so funny. And so I did like a red-pilled coffee video where I was just laughing at this one. And there's like a bunch of takes on it. It's not that they're important. Anyway, so the funny thing about that one is it was right around the time that Pat Stedman was doing his upstream Twitter shit, talking about how Rolo and Ryan are stupid and I'm smart and Aaron's an idiot and I'm moral and I'm the pinnacle of men. And then he got arrested in January 6th in jail, 2 kids. Even the judge was like, I feel sorry for you, man. What the fuck were you doing? I think it's just funny when the judge was lecturing him like he was his fucking dad and he was disappointed. Normally it's like, you sir need to learn your price for the community. It was like, oh man, what are you doing? Even the prosecutor was like, it's my job, man, but like, fuck you, idiot. Anyway, she had this one video where she was talking about how come men who say they're submissive and women say they're not submissive. And then I superimposed it with Pat Stedman's like, why I love women video. And it was just fucking hilarious. It was perfect. She's like, I hate bitch ass men. And then he's like, you know what's great? Women who love bitch ass men. That's how you get your success. And I just put them together. It's just fucking funny. It was right around when I had the same time as all those little like, his like Trump rants when he was sitting on his parents' patio drinking wine. But it's just funny because like, these are such great moments. Great internet TV moments. The beef was insignificant. You can kind of have fun with it. And they're all just gone now. And everybody now, like, those were great. What is it now? Chicks yelling at each other over finger blasting each other at a conservative event, trying to save the country from the migrant hordes. It's like, this isn't fun. This isn't interesting. I'm actually very annoyed. We've reached the nihilistic pit of despair of online content beef. I need good ones. I need somebody to accuse you of being fatherless.
I don't usually post pictures of my kids online, but they're infants and you can barely see them, so, it's fine. But a YouTuber named Ryan Stone tweeted, showing off the F trophies for clout. So the babies are trophies that I'm showing off. It's perhaps not a surprise that a picture of a proud father would be so upsetting to the sort of man who clearly never had one.
I see the super chat. I'm getting to it, I promise. We're done in like a minute here anyway. Like, that one was fucking funny. Somebody sent that to me. He's like, dude, did you know? I'm like, no, I didn't know. Matt Walsh just called you fucking fatherless. It's like, awesome. Fucking roll with that. That was fun. That was so much fun. And the best part of it too, the whole part was because he was showing off the fuck trophies for clout. I hate when people use their kids as social media props. But that, who's the senator? There's some senator who's like breastfeeding her kids on the Senate floor and shit like that, or the House floor. I'm not sure which. And Matt Walsh is giving her a blast. Stop using your kids as cheap political props. And I was like, I didn't know he did that because I don't follow him. But all of a sudden, I go online, like I wake up, I'm like, oh, I'll check my Twitter and see what's up. I see like 20 messages. I'm like, what the fuck? 20 mentions? I click it up. It's everybody just like sending me the Matt Walsh clip of him making fun of the fuck trophies for clout. And I was like, like that's the shit I just love, man. I want to get us back there. I want to be able to have fun with this stuff. I want you guys to be able to laugh. Like we're all going to be clowns. Let's at least be good clowns. Not like that sad clown. Not like the it clown that eats kids. Like cool clown. Like Bozo the clown. Like Doink the clown. Remember Doink? Any wrestling heads in here? Any old heads? Remember Doink the clown? He'd hit you with a chair, and then 3 midgets would run out from underneath the ring and start boot fucking you on the ring, and you get disqualified. I fucking love that shit, man. So my goal is to find if we can get ourselves a Doink the clown going again. Anyways, Jean-Simon Leroux, Canadien, $5.01. What's that one podcast with that one chick and 2 guys talking about your book in the spring of 2024? They seem chill. You didn't make an ad on that one. The one chick and 2 guys talking about my book in spring of 2024. Fuck, that's a good question. Was I on that podcast or was it just them? But yeah, no, I don't make ads out of everything. It's just mostly like normally if people are polite and pleasant and whatever, we can disagree, they can hate me, whatever. As long as they act like professional. I'm not going to make an ad on it because that's pretty shitty if somebody's like invites me onto their show, invites me into part of their brand, and then I just fucking punish them for that. I think that's stupid. It's only when they start chimping out that I'm like, all right, fine, let's go ad style. 3 people talking my book. I wish I could remember this one. I don't remember this. If anybody can help me and Jean-Simon Leroux, which book were they talking about? Anna Paulina Luma. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember the one you're talking about. Yeah, you're talking about Kyle and them. Creatrix. What the fuck was her husband's name? Yeah, dude, those fucking 2 went crazy. It was so weird. It was so fucking weird. Like, it's just out of the blue. Like, whatever. She's a sweet kid. And he's kind of like a drugged out loser, pulled his life together. They got married. They're going to have kids. It's kind of like one of those, like, I wish them the best, but it's kind of reminds me of my trailer park upbringing. I'm like, all right, well, good enough of that. But I can't remember what it was. She chimped out about something stupid and basic bitch red pill. And at first everybody was just playing around, but then she went full George Bruno, and that's how that kind of died off. I don't know if she was like trying to do it. But anyways, like she was nothing but cordial. So I'm like, yeah, there's no point making an ad on this. They're professional enough. The chimp out was just some random Twitter thing anyway, and it wasn't really funny. I can't remember what it was about. Yeah, I don't even remember that one. Plus, I like Kyle, and Kyle and them are friends, so I'm not going to be like, why cause problems? I'm not Milo Yiannopoulos. I'm not going to sit here and fucking ruin people's friendships with this stuff. This stuff's just a job. We're going to have fun with it. We're going to laugh on it. None of this stuff hurts Matt Walsh's fucking branding. It's just fun. James S., $5 super chat to bring some joy in the world. Can we see... Oh, fuck. How did I forget? I am so sorry, sir. Is it this one? Yeah. Here you go. There she is.
Ryan Stone, another...
It is just...
Oh my God.
If you're a young man, you need to figure out what you're trying to do with your life. You need to subscribe to this goddamn channel.
What the fuck?
Megan Fox with a dick or Hulk Hogan with a pussy.
Mel time. It's Mel time.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
Do you see that Waffle House there? There's murderers in there.
You have to conclude that Trump betrayed us.
Socially retarded fact.
Seething.
Don't work with retard.
He's a halfway decent looking guy, a nice smile, can be a gentleman, snarky as even in person, yet he blocks me and talks shit about. Somebody find out their real names for me.
I do have a nice smile. Thank you, James. You can see the George Bruno ad, and then Alpha AK with the $5 super chat. One last F you for the road. Thank you very much, sir. I am now going to find out who's doing Rule 0 today. And we're going to redirect you guys over there. I think it's the least we could do. They actually got a good one, I think they're talking about. There it is. Debunking Myths, as Jack running it. Good for him. Mel time. To be fair, I want George Bruno to have more chimp outs. I think those are fucking hilarious. He's so good at them. And he deletes them right after, so he forces me to be on my toes. On the way out, dude, if you haven't got it yet, I'm telling you. If you are an avid reader, you're going to love it. If you haven't read in a long time and you can't read books you thought you could, this is the one to get you back into it. I am telling you this. And I'm not saying this because it's me who wrote it. I even read it. I don't ever read my shit. I actually like reading this. It is great. It has 4 levels of resolution, from just like surface level cyberpunk movie with the heist to like funny satirical takes like RoboCop had, to all the way down to like a proper character arc. Like it's a really good book. It's really entertaining. The first group of guys who bought it when it first came out are coming back with the feedback. The big one, and I worked on it, but I didn't think it would be as well executed as it was, and I'm glad it is the pacing. Like, you never lose your attention while you're writing it. It keeps you going for long for the thing, keeps you wanting to read more. And I know everybody's like, I want to tell a great story, but a lot of it, I think there's a big part to just, I am telling a story that you will follow along with, like making the road good on the way to the Golden City, you know? It's well worth it. And like I said, it's got, if you're one of those like hardcore or hardcover types, it's got hardcover cover to it. It comes in soft cover, which is, I would suggest paperback. That's kind of the way it was designed to be best read, but that's just me. Some people prefer the Kindle. And in a couple months, I'll have the audiobook finished, and then the audiobook will come out. So even if you don't want to read it, just stay tight. I'll read it to you. It's fine. If not that one, then it was the panel show with the American female comedian. Oh yeah, Chrissy Mayer. Yeah, she's cool. I like it. I've talked to her producer. We talk every now and again on Twitter, and I'm like, if there's ever a spot, I'd like to come back. But like, you know, sometimes people think I'm a prick, so it's like, I understand if not. So we chat every now and again, and if you need to know something about the sphere that happened, I'll give them on the info. It's always fun stuff. Anyway, time to go to Jack's thing. I'm going to go have breakfast because I haven't eaten today yet. So far, I've lived off of like 3 sips of caffeine. And man cannot live on caffeine alone. So let's get to it. Oh, I sent you the link. Go watch WrestleMania 6. You'll fall in love with wrestling all over again.
Boom!
79T 2458 Learning Corp Little Red Riding Hood, take 1.
"40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone." Does that make sense?
Where they say there are Indian people pooping on our beach.